What's up, everybody? I wanted to come back with a video about Spider-Man 2002. This was that kind of a licensed official movie tie-in game with the first Spider-Man from Sam Raimi in 2002, and I really just wanted to go back to it and play it and see what still holds up, what feels different, what's completely different from my memories of it, rather than, of course, some of the cutscenes and Tobey Maguire and things like that.
It's never easy, is it? Who are you? No, wait. Let me guess. The Emerald Elf?
Me? I'm just a concerned citizen helping to clean up our fair city. Vengeance is mine.
So let's get into what this game had to offer back then, back in those days. We have a very interesting kind of experience here. We're dealing with a lot of those very early PS2, late PS1 era controls. I've noticed this when I've played the original Silent Hill and the original Resident Evil, where you're kind of moving yourself and the camera at the same time. It doesn't flow very well, not compared to games of today at least. So you do have to adapt like yourself to those controls and all the stuff that how things worked back then, but it all kind of just adds to that charm. The combat here is weird, simple, and very combo focused. So it was all about finding, what worked in what situation, and really just kind of finding like the one, two, a handful of combos that really worked well, and just spamming those all the time and getting through the best enemies, the hardest enemies with those combos, because you kind of only have that in this game. You can shoot your webs at people, but like swinging around and that element of Spider-Man that you see a lot in the newer stuff, it doesn't really work that same way here. The swinging is so one-dimensional. You don't have any kind of real control over it. You just start swinging. The webs don't attach to like anything in this game. They're just shooting upwards. You can like go higher up in the sky, you can go lower, and that's pretty much it. So you don't really have those web dynamics. You just have to figure out your way through the combat, through the combos, and you can like zip line around and things like that, and it's all very simple, and it's not super complicated, but that kind of in a way makes it more challenging, and at times even more challenging in my opinion than the newer games, because as much as you are adapting to the game, you also have to find a way for the game to adapt to you, the way that that I've rewired my brain over the years, and when it comes to games, what my brain wants to do now. And using an older controller, like the black and white buttons aren't that familiar to me. The triggers feel weird with only the left and right and no like L1 and R1 and things like that. So there's a lot of like figuring things out that I think I was starting to get more of a handle of by the time I was playing the game for a few hours. But at that point the game's over. This game is very short, and this game doesn't have like that free roaming aspects that a lot of the Spider-Man games have. That's such a key part of Spider-Man, to just swing around the city, listen to whatever the game in-world game music is, or podcast going on, or radio, whatever is going on. This game doesn't have that. It's very streamlined. It's very mission to mission. It literally is mission to mission with a possible cutscene here and there. And that's all you have, and it flies by, and some missions take less than like 2 minutes. There's some very strange ways to die in this, because in this game there's no ground. This game exists fully in the air, in buildings, in rooms on the higher floors of buildings, on the roofs of buildings, in the sky, swinging around. You can't go on the ground. If you try to go too low, the game is just gonna end. It'll just say game over. You swung too low, too bad, it's over. Try again. And that's just something you'll have to figure out, and it'll be frustrating. But that's part of the quirkiness. That's part of the charm here. You have to go along with it. And if it means having to destroy 50 of these like bat drone robot things again and again, to the point where you've destroyed like 200 of them because you still can't find this like random construction site building, that'll just be what you'll have to do. It's gonna take a few tries, and a lot of trial and error here. But for the most part, this is so simplistic. It's so, the first step to the bigger world of the Spider-Man gaming universe. But more than anything, I think the strongest element to this game is the Sam Raimi-ness of it all. Tobey Maguire coming back, Willem Dafoe coming back, those cutscenes and those like things that are very clearly like they're straight from the movie, because this is working on probably some early scripts. And so there's some differences, especially towards the end. There's some villains here that you don't see in any of the trilogy. There's some villains that we're barely seeing now in some movies. And apparently the Xbox only had the exclusive Kraven mission, which I thought that mission was actually really interesting. That was the one that stood out more than all of them, because it's like a maze. There's these sequences where Kraven's like sniping you, and you have to kind of just hide behind these columns. And then there's a pit of snakes. Some of these robots that like Vulture is using. There's some really cool elements and some cool villains and stuff. I played it so many times, but I didn't remember the specifics of it really at all. And so experiencing that again and kind of realizing that there's still a lot of this that holds up so well. I think it still looks really good for the original Xbox. A lot of the original Xbox games, that's been so surprising. I've had my Xbox forever. I've lost a lot of my games over time, and I just didn't think I even had the cables to connect it anymore to the modern TVs. If you find like a component cable to HDMI adapter, there's some good ones out there. I forget what brand I have, but it was a total game changer. I think it looks amazing. It's gonna look so much better than I think you're probably imagining. Maybe not. It depends on who you are, I suppose. This game will not wow you. You'll not go back and be like, oh my god, that was why it's so in my memory. That's why it's never left me. Because of that. There are some moments that are scary, like you against Green Goblin in this factory, and whenever he comes off his glider and you're just face to face with Green Goblin, you feel that. You feel the same way that like Toby does when he's facing off against him in the end of Spider-Man. And these moments against him are scary. And then you just go back to the combos and smashing buttons. But the Raimi-ness is here. Like I just love, as much as I love Spider-Man, and I've enjoyed every Spider-Man movie, all the Spider-Man universes, there's such a distinct feeling with Raimi's universe where I just see that, I'm like, yes, that is Spider-Man. That is like, there's such a unique feeling to it. And you feel that in this game to a certain degree. It's not, to that level, of course. It's close enough. And yeah, that's essentially all I wanted to talk about. But I had fun playing this, and I've been having a lot of fun playing older games lately. So I'm excited to jump into Spider-Man 2 next, and hopefully I'll be back to make a video for that one. It was fun to finally come back. It's been too long, and I hope you're all doing well out there wherever you are. So until the next one, everyone, take care, and I'll see you then.